You know that things are rough in New York when Stephen A. Smith, who never talks about baseball, starts talking about baseball.
You look like flat out trash. You worse than how it smells from the sewers in the Bronx.
What's up, everyone? It's Fuzzy. Welcome back to yet another MLB recap. We do this every single day. There is a lot to talk about. The Yankees, they are calling up multiple prospects to try and fix the mess that has been happening over the last few weeks. Cleveland, yeah, they were not happy with the results of yesterday's game versus the Tigers, and Adley Rutschman, the young superstar catcher, he made some history. Remember, everyone, if you're going to any baseball games or concerts anytime soon, use code Fuzzy on SeatGeek, save yourself some money. Now, before we talk about the walk-offs from yesterday, I want to talk about the Mets versus the Braves and what happened after that game as well. Robbie Grossman, he belted his first home run as a member of the Braves, and Matt Olson, he sent this one into orbit. After that two-run blast, he now has 61 extra base hits and 79 RBIs. In comparison, Freddie Freeman has 57 extra base hits and 73 RBIs. Now, Freddie, of course, has been more valuable. He's hitting .320, but the production has been about the same. Charlie Morton was postseason. Charlie Morton in this one, he shoved it for 6 2/3 of scoreless baseball with a whopping 12 strikeouts. Swanson and Olson both delivered with RBI singles in the 7th, and the Braves, they're now within 3.5 games of first place after winning their 8th game in a row. Now, it didn't stop with them winning that one. They picked up another W by inking Michael Harris II to an 8-year extension worth $72 million. I mean, look at this roster. It is almost perfectly constructed to go on a run, not only for 2022, 2023, but all the way up until 2027, it feels like. Now, the Mets also did something with one of their young guys. They officially called up super prospect Brett Baty. He has pop for days, and he has a cannon for an arm. So the Mets and the Braves, they're trying to compete for the first place spot in their own division. So who do you think is going to be the #1 team by the time this is all said and done? Once Michael Harris is comfortable in center field, once they call up Brett Baty, talking about the Mets, who's going to be the top dog, or the top G, I guess, is what kids say nowadays. So Brett Baty is about to make his debut. Now, speaking of debuts, the A's are now undefeated in the Shea Langeliers era. Seth Brown drove in the first run, and look at Shea. He smoked a double for his first big league hit, and he came around to score on a base hit from someone I definitely knew existed before today, Jonah Bride. There he is. Sean Murphy hit one a country mile. That thing almost went 460 feet, and JP Sears, who the Oakland Athletics acquired in the Yankees trade, he tossed 5 shutout, good for him, and Elvis Andrus. And honestly, I don't know what the A's are doing, because Elvis, he hit that 2-run home run, and then they released him. And at the same time, Shea Langeliers, he's in the same lineup as Sean Murphy. They're both catchers, and then the A's, they drafted a catcher in the first round of this last draft. I don't know what they're doing. The Giants were down to their final out, and Brandon Crawford is looking like Father Time has finally caught up to him, but he turned back the clock on that swing. After a historically good 2021 season, he has really come back down to earth in 2022, but that's a cool moment. He saves the Giants' win streak, so the Giants have now moved to within 4.5 games of the wild card after winning their 5th game in a row. All of those Giants fans that left, you should be ashamed of yourselves. Now, they're going to need the Dodgers to put a hurt on the Brewers, so let's talk about that game, shall we? Willy Adames has been pretty bad for about a month now, but there he is bashing a 2-run bomb, and hopefully that unlocks his swing going forward. Now, speaking of unlocking swings, Joey, he goes yard again. That was off a Brandon Woodruff fastball, which is not easy to do. In 9 games, he has 3 home runs and an almost 180 OPS plus. The Joey Gallo curse is real, ladies and gentlemen. Mookie Betts ties it on his 27th home run, and it didn't stay tied for long because Yelich, he launched one 451 feet. He once hit 44 home runs in 130 games back in 2019. Over his last 285 games, he only has 30 home runs, and that was the first long ball he's had in over a month. Still a cool moment nonetheless. Chris Taylor, he took over the game from there as he tied it up in the 7th and then saved the game in the 10th inning. I kind of thought this web gem was not only cool, but kind of funny, just the way that he fell. It was almost in slow motion. Milwaukee, they still walked it off, though. It took one more inning. Caratini had a huge 2-run single as the Milwaukee Brewers are 1 game back of the wild card and 2 games back of first place in the Central. They're behind the Cardinals. So the Cardinals, they cannot lose this game, and the boys knew it. Tommy Edman, he pummeled that baseball almost 420 feet, and Paul Goldschmidt, he added a 2-run shot. Goldie, I mean, he's having a historic season. He's hitting .330 basically with 29 home runs, 92 RBIs with still a month left of baseball. Jose Quintana had another quality start. He allowed 2 earned runs over 5, but but Jordan Hicks, he gave up the lead in the 6th, and Chuck Nasty snatched the lead in the 7th. Now it's win or go home time for the Cardinals. Goldie ties it on a sac fly, and Tyler O'Neill, maybe he intimidated Dinelson Lamet. He walked it off on a hit by pitch. I feel bad for Dinelson Lamet because his career might be in serious jeopardy. He was released by the Brewers. He has a 5.18 ERA and 33 walks to go along with 5 hit by pitches over his last 64 innings. That's bad. Long ball, Derek Hall, and Nick Castellanos have been huge contributors over the last month, which is big time because Bryce Harper went down with an injury. Nick Castellanos, we all know he was struggling mightily, so it's nice to see him get it going. Kyle Gibson got roughed up for 3 earned runs in the 3rd, but Rhys Hoskins always seems to step up when his team needs him most. He's now up to 25 home runs, and he has a 926 OPS with runners in scoring position. Did I say he has 25 home runs? Well, now he has 26. He also has an almost 3.5 WAR on the season, and look at Garrett Stubbs. He is contributing. He has been a godsend. Whenever JT Realmuto goes down with rest, Garrett Stubbs has been performing. He is hitting 288 with the 148 OPS plus. So to recap, the Giants, the Brewers, and the Phillies, they all won. So let's see if the Padres can grab a W and not lose any ground in the wild card race. Nick Fortes and Jesus Aguilar, they ran into some baseballs, making it 2-0. Just apparently, Nick Fortes wasn't done. He wanted one more home run. That is his 2nd of the day. Dating back to last year, in his first 56 big league games, he has 10 home runs, 6 stolen bases, and a 132 OPS plus. I had no idea that he was balling out that well. Edward Cabrera only threw 4 innings, but he struck out 7. He now has a 1.78 ERA on the season. The Marlins are up 3 going into the 7th, and yeah, they're not up 3 anymore. That base clearing double from Manny Machado made it a whole new ball game, but then Peyton Burdick seizes the moment. He drives a Nick Fortes. Fortes had his fingerprints all over this one. Dylan Florial, he saved his nastiest stuff for this game specifically. He got 3 outs, all of them via the strikeout. The Padres are now just 1 game ahead of the Brewers for a wild card spot. All right, moving along to a few AL matchups. Let's talk about Boston. They basically won this game in the 1st on multiple RBI singles. Dougie had one. Christian Arroyo had the 2nd one. Eric Hosmer wanted an RBI single as well. And that 4-run first inning was capped off by a sac fly from JD Martinez. Nick Pivetta dazzled versus a terrible lineup. The Pirates should be ashamed of what they put out yesterday. 7 shutout on 6 punch-outs. Matt Barnes struck out 2 for his 3rd save. There you go. The Boston Red Sox pick up a huge W. The Red Sox can move a little bit closer to the wild card if the Orioles can pick up a W against their division rival, the Blue Jays. Vladdy has been on a tear lately, and no one's really talking about it. Over his last 22 games, he's hitting 344 with a 180 OPS plus. Anyways, the Orioles, they get some huge help from their stars. Mullins and Adley, they go back-to-back. I want to talk about Adley Rutschman for a moment because in 69 games, he has 31 extra base hits and a 128 OPS plus, and he already has a 3 WAR. He might be the new best catcher in baseball, but then again, there's JT Realmuto, Will Smith, Sean Murphy, the Contreras brothers. Let me know in the comments, who do you think is the best catcher in baseball right now? And I'm not sure if this helps, but Adley Rutschman became the first player since Yordan Alvarez to have 30 extra base hits and 30 walks in their first 70 games. Now, the wheels kind of fell off in the 6-4 Toronto as Baltimore went up 4-2 after some base hits and some defensive miscues from the Blue Jays. Enter the Mountain. The Mountain, aka Felix Bautista, strikes out 2 in a perfect 9th inning. He notches his 7th save. So the Jays, Orioles, and the Red Sox are all within a few games of the Rays. So I guess it's time to talk about the Rays facing off against the Yankees. This game was over after 1 swing. Randy Arozarena, this pitch, yes, I am using his last name as a verb. He turned 27 years old this year. He has 16 home runs, 21 stolen bases, and an almost 120 OPS plus. Those are pretty good numbers. Jeffrey Springs has been prime Cliff Lee all year. 1 earned run in this one versus the Yankees, and he has a 2.52 ERA on the season. Jason Adam came in for a 4-out save. He struck out 2. He now has a 1.13 ERA. The Yankees are spiraling after losing their 5th consecutive series. They put Clay Holmes on the IL, but they have called up Oswaldo Cabrera, who has 8 home runs and 10 stolen bases in 47 games at AAA, and they're calling up Florial, who is basically been Babe Ruth in the minors. He has 14 home runs and 32 stolen bases in 89 games. Well, I guess Babe Ruth didn't steal that many bases, but you know what I'm saying. He has been very good. The Yankees, they're trying to get that youthful energy and try to make guys feel like their job is on the line, because it is. I'm going to try and not be biased, but I really think that MLB has some tweaking to do with these blocking rules. Javier Baez was thrown out by at least 5 feet, but the call was reversed by New York. It was sent to the MLB offices, and they basically said that Hedges did not provide a clear path for Javier Baez to slide into home plate, so the call was overturned. Baez was safe, and that allowed Kerry Carpenter to destroy Cleveland one more time. Harold Castro made it 4 runs for Detroit, and Garrett Hill was very good. 1 earned run over 6 innings, and the Tigers, they barely held on to a 4-3 lead. Terry Francona was not happy with a call in 9th inning, and in my opinion, I'm not trying to be biased, but this was a very poorly umpired game in my opinion. Now, between this game and the Twins game a couple days ago where Gary Sanchez got screwed, I really think that MLB should clarify these blocking rules. I mean, if you don't think it's soft, I think it's soft because they're baseball players. You can slide into home plate without a little foot in the way, in my opinion. I mean, just ask Austin Hedges. He was not happy.
I don't need to get into the rest of the debacle with the umpires today because it was a really, really poor executed job by them. It's too bad when we play a sport where we get held accountable, where we say something, we get held accountable, we get mocked, we get shamed. There's no accountability on their part right now. These guys are going out there with no responsibilities. They say, okay, here's a play where I can show my power. Here's a play where I can take over the game. And that's not the game that we play. That's not the game that we played for forever. And they're trying to take over the game, trying to win a division. We're trying to make the playoffs. We're trying to do something special. And for it to be taken out of our hands like that is a disgrace, and it's extremely disappointing. I'm disappointed, and that's all I have to say. Thank you.
The nightmare day continued for Cleveland as Minnesota destroyed the Kansas City Royals. Luis Arraez brought home Celestino, and Celestino brought home himself later in the game on a home run. Sonny Gray was shining all day long. He carved up the Royals for 6 scoreless innings, and Mans had 10 strikeouts. The Twins teed off again later in this game against a hapless Kansas City bullpen. They scored 5 over the 7th and the 8th innings. Urshela, Gordon, and Miranda, they all had RBIs. Nick Gordon has been a pleasant surprise. He has 24 extra base hits and a 114 OPS plus, while Jose Miranda, as a rookie, has a 127 OPS plus. And as if it couldn't get any worse for me, a Cleveland fan, it got worse. The White Sox, they might have finally flipped the switch in a Cy Young matchup between Dylan Cease and Justin Verlander. The Sox, they have their win streak on the line, so in my opinion, this was must-see TV. Josh Harrison has an RBI infield single that was matched by Bregman's RBI double, and then another RBI double from Kyle Tucker. There was also a home run from Jose Altuve, so both Dylan Cease and Verlander were tagged for 3 earned runs as JV tried his best to get through 7, but he was torched by a 2-run pinch hit double from Gavin Sheets. Hector Neris came in to try and hold it down, but Moncada clutched up again, almost to the exact same spot as the game before. Liam Hendricks, he converted his 18th save in a row. He now has 27 on the year, and Chicago, they've won 5 in a row. Both Minnesota and the White Sox are 1 game back of first place and a wild card spot. The Mariners are trying to keep their footing and ensure they stay in the wild card lead. They were facing Luis Rengifo. This kid is hitting .301 with 14 extra base hits and 17 RBIs over his last 25 games. But here come the comeback kids. Ty France and Jesse Winker, they steal the lead. Ty France is hitting .340 with runners in scoring position this year. Robbie Ray, he was able to settle down. He struck out 10 over 6 frames, and Seattle, they went off again. Adam Frazier, he tripled home 2 runs, and Sam Haggerty continues to impress. He gets on base again with the RBI single, and I can't forget about the AL Rookie of the Year favorite, maybe an MVP vote getter, Mr. J-Rod Julio Rodriguez. That is a 2-run Oppo Taco. He is 1 away from joining the 2020 club. And last but not least, Nico Horner has been a dog this year. PJ Higgins as well as Franmil Reyes, the brand new Cub, they deliver as well. Franmil has been a machine with Chicago. He's hitting .346 with 4 extra base hits in his first 6 games. The Nationals, they storm back to tie it after a Luke Voit home run and a Lane Thomas home run. They both do that in the 8th inning. So this one is going to need some free baseball. We head to the 11th where Patrick Wisdom, he drives home Wilson Contreras, and then Seiya Suzuki, he extends the lead, while Mark Leiter Jr., who is the nephew of Al Leiter, so the cousin of the number 2 overall pick, Jack Leiter, he grabs his first career save. I tip my cap. 2 years ago today in MLB history, Fernando Tatis Jr. went the other way. He broke the unwritten rules versus the Rangers. This kind of set the world on fire. Since then, Tatis has been suspended for 80 games. The manager of the Rangers, who got kind of upset, Chris Woodward, he has been fired, and the president of the Rangers, John Daniels, he's out as of today. That does it for today's recap. Thank you all so much for watching. I really appreciate the support as of late. Leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed. We're on the road to 500,000 subs. Enjoy the web gems.
And a play for Bradley in center, and he's got it.
Your header was going to die in front of you, and he got turned around a little bit, turns one direction and stays right on.
Acuna pitches high, the throw by Perez, and he got him. It was right on the bag.
Good pitch to throw up in the strike zone. Look at that.
Richard pulls it. Arenado from his knee. The tag. Oh, what a play on both ends.
But the tag, without being hesitant, without being too quick, he just gets the glove up there right.
And Victor Robles on the way in, ball hanging up, and he's going to get there.
It's all about his jump. He's got the wheels, but when you take a good route on this, big swing, knowing that the angle of the ball.
Ooh. Correa makes the catch. No, he did not. The out is made at first base. And now Correa will look at the very same umpire I complimented.
Give him a little smile right after.
Yep.
It's a trap, and that's a great call. 2 good calls in a row.